What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel Jurassic World Dino Rivals Dracorex. Here we do have Dracorex in the packaging. This is a figure I didn't even know existed, and I'm really glad I found it. And I'll explain that more in the review. But what we're going to do now is take a little break, get them open up, and then we'll have a better look at Dracorex. Stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Dracorex posing out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's take a look at his one and only accessory. Well, her one and only accessory. Dracorex does come with this nifty little battle card. You can see it does give some stats on them, and it's a really nice little thing. I don't know if I'll get any more of the Jurassic World figures, but this is actually a really nice little thing. It does have the Dino Rivals as well as the Jurassic World logo on the back. So with that out of the way, let's actually take a closer look at Dracorex. And so here we have a closer look at Dracorex Hogwartsia. Yes, that's its actual scientific name, and one of the reasons I love this dinosaur is for its name. I love the name Dracorex. If you don't know what that means, it's Latin for Dragon King, which the full Latin name for this dinosaur does actually translate to the Dragon King of Hogwarts, which I think is a really nice little thing. Really controversial little dinosaur, but really interesting figure we have here. You can see Dracorex does have a beak right here, which does look really good. I want to say that Dracorex is actually painted in the white or beige plastic. That's where it's molded in, and it's just painted with the orange on top. You can see its little spikes right here on its snout aren't painted. They're not really all that sharp, which is a good thing. Going on to its skull, which it really does look like a dragon, to be honest. You can see its horns do protrude out really nicely. This is, of course, a softer piece just to mate with regulations. Going to the back of the head, you can see its really nice little spikes just coming out of the head. You can see the eye is yellow with these nice little brown going around it just to differentiate the two paints. You can see there is a little bit of a paint rub right here on mine, and I think, yeah, it's coming off. Right here on the neck, I have noticed that as I articulate it, it is rubbing some of the paint off. These little spikes right here. It is a little bit unfortunate, but I think it would have worked better if all these were the same color. I don't know, there's just something about them being the color of the scales that I'm not really a fan of. Mattel actually did a really good job sculpting this figure. You can see all those little crevices right there do have some detail. My only problem is that for as detailed as Mattel has gotten these figures, it loses a lot of the details just because they are just one solid color with a secondary wash. You can see right here we have the base plastic going into this orange paint, which again, not a bad thing, but we don't have any detailing here at all. If they had just thrown a black wash over this figure, all these details would pop out much more. And then one thing I do want to point out is that none of Dracorex's claws are painted. That's a little bit unfortunate. Even right here on the feet, they decided to leave it flesh or skin tone. I would have liked to see that the same color right here in the eyes. The brown would have looked good right there. Something I might just go back and do myself, but we'll see. On the bottom of the foot, it does have that little scanner where you can scan it onto your smartphone, and it gets you, what was it, like a virtual zoo? I think that's what it was. And then on its right leg, we do have the Jurassic Park logo. And again, we have this really nice striping going on its back. You can see it starts up right here, goes all the way down its tail. Really do like that. It's a really nice little thing that they did. Again, we have a lot of nice details on it, but a wash would have really brought out all these little bumps and crevices on the figure, which again, I probably might do that on my own time, but we'll see. And I really do I love the colors on this. I was expecting something a little with more brown, but I think this actually works for this little dinosaur here. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's actually compare Dracorex to a few other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Dracorex posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Dracorex posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have Dracorex posed next to Battle Damage Blue and the Dilophosaurus. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually take a look at Dracorex's articulation, because surprisingly it has quite a bit of decent articulation. Its head is on a ball joint, although we don't get too much side-to-side movement. That is a little bit unfortunate. It is pegged in at an angle, so the head does rotate off at an angle, which is a bummer. I would have liked to see a more up and down peg so that we got proper left and right rotation. But that's pretty good. It does have a hinge at the head, so it does look down and can look up about that far, so it gets really good head movement. Although you want to be careful because doing that does rub the paint off the back bones right here, so just be aware of that. So we do get a really decent hinge in the neck as well as rotation. Although if you have the head hinged all the way up, because the way it's sculpted, you're not going to get any rotation, so you're going to have to rotate it and then angle it. And you can see the head doesn't move unless you actually have it going over the spikes, because it does bump up against those spikes. It has a hinge right here at the neck, so it's looking straight right here, but it also looks down quite a bit, so it can get into ramming positions, which is why this is probably a controversial dinosaur, because it might just be a juvenile pachycephalosaur. But anyway, with a hinge right here, we actually do get really good articulation there. You can see we have a straight run position, so I really do like that. Arms are on basic swivels, so they just go all the way around, and that works pretty good. Legs, we also do have a swivel, which is decent. No knee or ankle articulation, but we do have a tail swivel. And unfortunately, no bendy wire in the tail, which I would have liked to see. But anyway, that's Dracorex for you, and it's a nice little dinosaur here. It's something I wasn't expecting to pick up, but I ended up doing it anyway. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get Dracorex posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. So here we have Dracorex posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I think it's a really nice, interesting little dinosaur. Again, this is one figure I had no idea it existed, and Dracorex is one of my favorite dinosaurs. Then again, it could possibly just be a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus. I don't know. I'm not a dinosaur expert, nor do I claim to be one. But this is such a nice little figure. I'm actually glad I picked it up. Now, Dracorex is part of the new batch of Jurassic World figures that are coming out right now, which are starting to hit store shelves as we speak. If you are looking for Dracorex as well as any other figure from this assortment, they will run you about $8, which is pretty good, seeing as how they don't have too much articulation, but they still have quite a bit of detail going through them. If you can find Dracorex and you want to complete your collection, or if you just want a really interesting looking dinosaur, I really recommend you pick up Dracorex. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Jurassic World and figure reviews. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.